March 1919. The entire city of New Orleans is gripped by terror. A serial killer has been breaking into homes, attacking victims with an axe, and vanishing into the night. Then something bizarre happens. The local newspaper publishes a letter supposedly from the killer himself. He calls himself a demon from hell. He threatens to kill again. But then he makes an offer. Play jazz music in your home on March 19th, and he'll spare you. That night, the entire city erupts in jazz. Every dance hall is packed. Every home has music blaring. People who've never played jazz in their lives are desperately making noise, hoping to stay alive. And incredibly, no one dies that night. This is the story of the Axeman of New Orleans, America's jazz-loving serial killer who terrorized the city for over a year and was never caught. Hey everyone, SiR.ReapeR here. Welcome back here to the channel. This case is absolutely insane. A serial killer who specifically targeted Italian grocers, broke into homes through chiseled door panels, attacked people with their own axes, and then sent a letter to the newspaper claiming to be a demon who loved jazz music. The entire city threw the wildest jazz party in history just to survive one night. And then he vanished, never to be identified. Let's break it down. The terror began on May 23, 1918. Joseph Maggio, an Italian grocer, and his wife Catherine were sleeping in their apartment above their store on the corner of Upper Line and Magnolia Streets. Someone broke in through a chiseled panel in the back door. The intruder crept upstairs and attacked the couple while they slept. Both had their throats cut with a straight razor. Catherine's throat was cut so deeply she was nearly decapitated. Then the killer bludgeoned them with an axe. The axe belonged to the Maggios themselves. It had been taken from their own shed. The killer left it at the scene, covered in blood. Police found no fingerprints, no clear motive, no suspects. Joseph's brothers discovered the bodies the next morning. Less than a month later, on June 27, 1918, the Axeman struck again. Louis Bizuma, a grocer, and his partner Harriet Lowe were attacked in their home. Both were found with severe head wounds from an axe. Bizuma survived, but Harriet died from her injuries. Again, the killer had entered through a chiseled door panel and used the victim's own axe. On August 5, 1918, Anna Schneider was attacked in her home. She survived but was gravely injured. 5 days later, on August 10th, Joseph Romano was attacked while sleeping. His two nieces heard the commotion and rushed into his room, catching a glimpse of a dark figure fleeing the scene. Romano died 2 days later from his injuries. Then the attacks seemed to stop. Months passed with no new incidents. People started to relax. Maybe the killer had moved on. Maybe he was dead. But on March 10, 1919, the Axeman returned with a vengeance. The Cortimiglia family, Charles, his wife Rosie, and their 2-year-old daughter Mary, were attacked in their home in Gretna, a suburb of New Orleans. Same method of entry, chiseled door panel. Same weapon, their own axe. Mary died from her injuries. Charles and Rosie survived, but were severely wounded. The city was in absolute panic. Then came the letter. On March 13, 1919, the Times-Picayune newspaper received and published a letter claiming to be from the Axeman himself. It's one of the most bizarre pieces of correspondence in serial killer history. The letter was dated Hell, March 13, 1919, and addressed to esteemed mortal. The writer claimed to be not human but a demon from hell, stating, "I am not a human being, but a spirit and a fell demon from the hottest hell." He boasted that they would never catch him and that he could take on any form he wished, invisible, or even as a human being. But here's where it gets truly strange. The letter made a specific threat and an equally specific promise. He announced he would kill again at 12:15 a.m. on Tuesday, March 19th. However, he would spare anyone in any place where a jazz band was playing. He wrote that he was very fond of jazz music and that all jazz musicians were his personal friends. If jazz was playing, he would pass by that house. The people of New Orleans took this threat deadly seriously. On the night of March 19, 1919, the entire city erupted in jazz music. Dance halls were packed to capacity beyond fire code limits. Homes that had never played music suddenly had phonographs blasting. Amateur bands formed overnight. Professional musicians played at hundreds of houses across the city. People who couldn't play instruments banged on pots and pans. The city was one massive, desperate jazz party. And that night, true to his word, the Axeman killed no one. Not a single attack was reported. The Axeman struck again on August 10, 1919, 1 year to the day after the Romano murder. Steve Boca, a grocer, was attacked in his home. He survived and described seeing a dark, heavy-set man. The final confirmed attack came on October 27, 1919. Mike Pepitone, another Italian grocer, was murdered in his bed. His wife witnessed the attack and saw the killer flee. She described him as a large man wearing dark clothing. After this final murder, the Axeman vanished. No more attacks, no more letters. He was simply gone. So who was the Axeman? Over a year of terror, at least 6 people murdered and 6 more seriously wounded, and he was never identified. The pattern was clear. Most victims were Italian grocers or their families. The method was consistent. Chiseled door panels, the victim's own axes used as weapons. But the motive, unclear. Some theories suggested it was racially motivated violence against Italian immigrants who faced significant discrimination at the time. Others thought it might be connected to organized crime or mafia activity. Maybe the grocers had refused to pay protection money. Maybe they knew something dangerous. The jazz letter is perhaps the strangest element. Was it really from the killer, or was it a hoax by someone else? If it was genuine, what did it mean? Was the killer genuinely sparing homes with jazz out of some twisted sense of honor, or was it psychological warfare, making the entire city dance for their lives? And why did the attacks suddenly stop in October 1919? Did the Axeman die, move to another city, get arrested for an unrelated crime? One suspect emerged years later. In 1921, a man named Joseph Mumford was shot and killed in Los Angeles by the widow of Mike Pepitone, the last confirmed Axeman victim. She claimed Mumford was the Axeman and had killed her husband. Mumford had been in jail during the periods when the attacks stopped and was free during the periods when they occurred. But there was never any concrete evidence linking him to the crimes. No trial, no proof, just the widow's accusation and vigilante justice. The case remains officially unsolved. The Axeman of New Orleans killed at least 6 people, terrorized an entire city, made thousands of people throw a citywide jazz party just to survive, and then disappeared into history. His identity died with him, whoever he was. The case has inspired books, TV shows including American Horror Story, and countless theories. A song called Mysterious Axeman's Jazz was even written and became popular during the panic. The Axeman represents something uniquely terrifying. A killer who controlled an entire city through fear and bizarre demands. He didn't just murder people, he made them perform for him. He made them believe that their survival depended on following his rules. And for one night in March 1919, he turned New Orleans into his personal stage where everyone played his song. So what do you think? Was the letter genuine or a hoax? Was Joseph Mumford really the Axeman, or did the real killer get away? And why did someone who killed so brutally suddenly care about jazz music? Drop your theories in the comments. If you enjoyed this dive into one of America's strangest serial killer cases, hit that like button, subscribe for more true crime, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.